Hello, we're the anime reviewers. I'm Matt.
I'm Zach.
Today we're doing Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 5, Cursed Womb Must Die Part 2. I thought, it was just an incredibly... It was a very good episode for that, of just them having to, how it starts off where he's possessed and he of course, oh man, what's the name of the curse that Itadori has? Sukuna immediately goes to attack Fujigumi. That's why it's
it's Fujigumi Megami.
Yeah. Fujigumi, of course, he immediately attacks him, and then he has to fight him, and and it's really cool how that whole fight evolves and what's going on and how they're showing Fujigumi's internal dialogue. That whole scene, and then how it ends, where he actually to where his initial plan is just to get him to because Sakuna rips out Itadori's heart and says, "I'm holding him hostage." And
because Sukuna can live without the heart,
yes,
Itadori can't. So if Itadori comes back, he'll die.
Yeah, and then of course he get Fushigi.
His first name is Megami.
I'm sorry, I'm not very good with Japanese names. Never. I'll get better though.
Go on, one of these days.
Yeah. Please make fun of me in the comments. But anyways, how he initially was trying to regenerate him, but then he just reaches out to Itadori to take over, and Itadori takes over because for some reason he didn't just immediately take over after.
After Sukuna.
Sukuna, that's an easy name. Sukuna to beat the curse from the last episode.
Yeah.
That whole part, and it's very short. It doesn't take up much.
It's about half the episode.
Really?
Fight? That fight when that fight ends is when the halfway mark logo shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that fight's just very interesting, and you get to see he's got another Shigami, which is a snake. Orochi, which I think is actually Spanish, Japanese for snake.
Yes.
So it's. And then he also makes a comment that I'm kind of concerned with, where he says his white Shigami and Orochi, thank you. That one I know.
His white wolf and Orochi are destroyed.
Yeah, which I wonder if that means they're gone for good, because that's what was implied. But they don't say it outright, but it's heavily implied, and he does say destroyed. But that could in anime, at the end of this episode, you think Itadori takes back over, and then he dies. He falls over dead. And then that's what the rest of the episode is about, is them dealing with his death and the whole school talking about it. And there's some humor. They actually bring some really great humor about it.
Yeah, because after the fight, you get to meet some of the second years this go around.
Which basically they're showing you the rest of the characters that are in the intro sequence.
Yes, we finally get to see Action Panda. I'm so happy.
My favorite part about the panda is that his name is a panda, and the girl's like, "You're not going to explain his name any more than that," and then just move on, just keep walking.
Yeah, because when the 3 second years get introduced, Fushigumi's or Fushigoro's explaining who they are, and unfortunately I can't remember their names, but the girl is one of the best at using.
Cursed item.
Cursed tools.
Cursed tools, sorry.
And then there's another guy, another kid that you see that his mouth is covered with up to here or so, and he talks only in rice ball ingredients. So he says salmon roe,
panko
flakes, and some other stuff. And you find out that he has cursed speech is what his thing is. And
the panda's just a panda.
And then it's the panda named Panda.
and
that's where she's like, "You're not going to explain more about the panda named Panda?"
Yeah. And he's got a little thing around his arm that says "I heart," and I think it's Japan, but I'm not certain about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They don't do a close-up of it where it would pop the subtitles or anything. But yeah, I kind of love Panda. Named Panda.
That's
I've been excited for Panda since 'cause in the intro sequence you see like a panda like jumping across rooftops and everything, and I'm like, action panda!
And don't you see him doing like some sort of martial art thing when they're just showing him in like the color, where it's just like a color background? He's not.
I think so. I think so. But I was hyped for Action Panda, and now we're getting Action Panda. And it looks like the next episode is probably going to involve like more of the second years and introducing the rest of the secondary cast that we've been seeing in the intros. So I'm really excited for that. Because I want to see what it means to be like an expert at demon tools.
Or like the second year, because you already know who like the most greatest one, which.
Yeah, we know Satoru is the strongest Jujutsu
master or whatever.
Yeah, the strongest sorcerer. But like I am actually curious about these other people and like the world of powers that there are. And like because it looks like curse tools are going to be like they're important for Itadori, so he doesn't keep like succumbing to Sukuna. And it I don't know if Kugasaki, the girl.
Yeah, it was
Kugasaki. I don't know if what hers is technically a curse tool or if it's something she imbues with her own powers. But it follows the same vein of like tools that the sorcerers are using. So it's going to be interesting to see someone that's a specialist in it and what they can do and what curse tools can actually do versus what we've seen up to this point of Itadori use it, which is, hey, I can use it to slash, curses. It's like, okay, well, great. Is there any fancy things you can do with those? Can you imbue them with your power? Like, we haven't seen anything like that. And I'm hoping that in the next episode we'll get to see more of, like, that part of the world. Even if it's just because like the next episode, like in this episode, they talk about the fact that there's another school in Kyoto, another tech school that they're going to have a 2-day competition with.
Which because the third year students who normally would be there are for some reason suspended.
Yeah, which I'm curious about. I suspect Satoru had something to do with that. It would not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I think Satoru is a third year. But like, there's actually one point in this episode, like, which I really enjoyed, and it's a great moment, especially for Satoru's character, because you get it gives a real good look into who he is as a person with a couple simple lines. Because after the fight with Sukuna and Itadori dies, they're in a morgue, and it's Satoru. They're like this one guy. I can't remember his name. He's like
he was the guy from the last episode with the window.
Yeah, I think he's a window, or he's the guy that casts the veil. Yeah. He seems to be like this middleman between Jujutsu Tech and the higher ups. So it looks like he's like sort of just a middleman type person that has like some sort of power, but not enough to be classified as a sorcerer, I think.
Anyone who's actually worked management at any job would understand how that man feels.
Yeah. But he's Satoru, like him and Satoru are talking about the incident and the fact that like it shouldn't, and Satoru comments about the fact that like the higher ups wanted Itadori to die. Like, I am the only reason he got an indefinite stay on execution. Because I was gone, they used this chance to get rid of him.
By setting him to a very dangerous curse.
And he has this great line of, I forget his exact wordings, but it comes down to maybe I should just kill the higher ups.
But he also says before that, which also really reflects his character, of how he's interested in actually teaching his students.
Yeah.
He can't, at least the way he's talking, because he's just sitting there lamenting. And just thinking out loud, about how what he wants to do, and then he says, maybe I should kill them all. Then a new character who's like a doctor, female.
I think she's the coroner.
Yeah, some sort of coroner, but she's obviously probably a sorcerer of some sort.
Yeah.
She reminds me, just her presence reminded me of like just the awesomeness of Edward and Alphonse's teacher from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, she definitely gives out that vibe.
Just of like someone who like is to be respected for some way. Like, but I mean, she might just turn out to be a corner.
Yeah.
And just
well, I think she is someone to be respected because she walks in and says, "Don't tease him." Like she's telling Satoru not to tease the middleman.
yeah.
And he basically stops.
Yeah, and
so I think she is someone to be respected, at least in some capacity, especially by Satoru.
But yeah, and what I like is she's definitely has like a softer. She's a lot soft. She's a very soft character, but not in that like in that some cliched feminine way, or that some overly like I'm just gonna be able to smack around these characters who aren't gonna do anything. Yeah, type thing. She just with the words, you get a sense it's their history together, their respect for each other, not just that I can use physical force and you can't type stuff that is just for me
that's pretty prevalent. Yeah.
And then they do a very good job of splitting it for the second half of the episode. Like, all the characters are mourning, they're also showing this guy walking around with curses, just talking to them in the middle of like Tokyo or Kyoto. They're in Kyoto, yeah.
No, they're in Tokyo.
They're in Tokyo. Okay,
yeah,
Kyoto.
Jujutsu Tech is in Tokyo. The sister school is in Kyoto.
Okay, well, yeah, but it's clearly some Japanese city. It might not necessarily have been Tokyo, but anyway, but probably is Tokyo.
I'm pretty sure he's walking around Tokyo.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, he's walking around with curses, and the curses are waiting at a stoplight, just having a conversation with this guy, and then eventually it leads them to go to a restaurant, and it's broken up. Like they jump between them and the students.
Yeah.
Morning. But anyways, like that. And then it goes to the restaurant where they talk about if we're tired of losing to these sorcerers, like how do we... and they also make reference to that they had a part in using the finger in the curse from the previous episode.
Yeah, because they asked if it was really worth it using this one of the fingers to test Sukuna's powers. Yeah. But yeah, no, the restaurant scene is very interesting, especially since, like, so we have no idea who that guy is. Like, his name's never mentioned.
Yeah.
It's also very clear he can see demon. Like, he himself is not a demon, because when he walks into the restaurant, he is asked, "Do you want a seat for one?"
Yeah.
So he's clearly not a demon. He's not. He is someone who can communicate with them, much like, I suspect he's some sort of sorcerer.
Yeah, that's what, because if you look at his outfits, he's got that purple, which seems like purple is like the color all the people are wearing, and then just how the dialogue is so natural.
Yeah, the dialogue's very natural.
I give that it's exposition dump, but it's natural exposition dump because he's actually communicating with other characters who don't know things. And so you're getting informed along with the curses who are asking questions. Because that's all they're doing is asking questions, which is awesome that they're putting you right alongside of these curses to be informed on these subjects.
Yeah, and I like what he alludes to, and we see like a brief glimpse at the very end of the episode before it cuts to the end credits. But one of the things that they're asking about, which you mentioned earlier, is how do we win the war? And he says you need to do two things before you start the war. One involves the strongest sorcerer, Satoru. You need to make it so he cannot fight. Which I find to be a very interesting choice of words. Because it's not you need to kill him, or it's whatever you do to him, he just can't be part of the fight.
It says how powerful he is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to when they show how powerful. And I hope they don't make the mistake Fairy Tail where the power scaling just goes right out the friggin' window and he loses. Like they show that he's really strong, but he loses when he finally gets to be involved in like the regular action.
Yeah. And then
150 episodes into the show or whatever it was.
And then the second thing was that you need to get Sukuna and Itadori on your side. And the demon goes, "Didn't the kid," and one of the demons says, "Didn't the kid die though?" And he's like, "Did he?"
Yeah, I think he's full of more surprises or something like that. Then,
and then it cuts over to his body lying on the morgue table, and it zooms in into the gaping hole on his chest.
And it looks like it's starting to close.
I don't think it's starting to close yet. I don't think it's changed yet. I think what they did is the blood that was there, they just cleared away. So I think it looks
Which that scene is very gory. I don't think we mentioned that when he rips the heart.
Oh, that is
gory. Very gory.
And I do like the fact that they allude to the fact, because they, going back to that real quick, because they allude to the fact that Sukuna can live without it. Like, blood spurts out when he rips it out and stuff and tosses the heart to the ground, but his gaping hole does not start bleeding until Itadori takes over, which means Sukuna can suppress the blood flow.
It did come out of his mouth, though.
It did. Like, I'm not saying he can completely stop the blood flow, but, like, if you look at those two scenes,
yeah,
he rips it out, there's a little bit of blood, and then when Itadori finally takes over, it just starts gushing out. Like, it starts pouring out of his wound. So it leads me to believe that, like, part of the cursed power that Sukuna has is the fact that he can suppress, like, blood loss. Because he's still in a physical body. As much as he can live without the heart, like, if he loses too much blood, he's still gonna, like, he's in a physical body. Which is why if Itadori dies, Sukuna can die. So theoretically, if they can destroy the body in some fashion, blood loss, whatever, then Sukuna would still die. But no, so back to what I was talking about when they zoom in on the chest, is you hear Sukuna's voice and he says, I don't like the fact that, I forget his exact wordings, but it's something like you shouldn't be digging too deep, or I don't like it when...
Yeah, I don't like it when you dig into me like that.
Yeah, I don't like it when you dig into me like that. And you see, it's an image that they show in the opening intro, except in the opening intro it's a lot more well lit. This one it's in shadow, and it's Sukuna with like a different regalia on, sitting on a throne, and he's got a grin. And I'm so excited for what that means, and like what's going to come out of that.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much the episode.
Yeah,
and awesome.
Oh, it's a fantastic episode, and I'm glad it started with the action. There's obviously it's not going to be a permanent consequence of Itadori dying. Like, it's just not.
I would applaud them for killing the main character.
I will applaud them for doing it, though, and, like, actually having actual repercussions there. Like, not repercussions, but, like...
a reaction.
Or actual reactions after the fact.
As opposed to him immediately coming back from the dead. Everything's all better.
Yeah. I'm genuinely hoping that, like, next episode, he doesn't come back, or if he does, it's not until the very, very end. I hope there's a whole episode where he's not alive. Like, I don't mind
a battle of wills between Itadori and Sukuna. That actually would be really cool, because Sukuna, the way they both talk, they're so much alike. And like, that's what I really like, is how there really are two sides to the same coin.
Yep.
Like, it's a really good parallel for characters, and especially since he's the one possessing him. So, like, them just having a battle of will. And it shows that Itadori has, it's his body, but it shows he has strong will, because he's able to...
He's been able to suppress him several times now. So, yeah, I'm real excited for the next episode. I think that's all.
Yeah.
That's it from us. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And hit that bell icon for notifications. Also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Links in the description down below.